Okay, so today we are diving into a really fascinating and honestly huge spiritual text. I mean, it's over 400 pages and it covers just about everything from ancient wisdom to quantum physics. So, for this explainer, we've boiled it all down to its absolute core message, its diagnosis of our modern world, and the path it suggests for us to reconnect. Let's get into it.
So, here's how we're going to walk through this. We're just going to follow the story the source itself tells. First up, we'll look at its diagnosis of a world out of tune and what it says is the root cause, this forgotten connection. Then, we'll pivot to the solution it offers, a journey inward, and check out the actual tools it gives for that journey. And finally, we'll see the incredible future it imagines this path could lead us all to. All right, so let's start with the problem. And I gotta say, the source material does not pull any punches here. It kicks things off with a really stark and challenging look at modern society. This metaphor is just, wow. It's right at the heart of the source's argument. The idea is that humanity, with its current mindset, is just unknowingly and kind of casually causing its own destruction. We're completely oblivious to the danger. It's a pretty potent image to start with, isn't it?
The source claims our entire society is, and I quote, beating a drum that is out of tune. And it points to all these symptoms as the proof. It talks about a world just filled with anger, nonstop conflict, and this deep disrespect for the very planet that keeps us alive. It says our spiritual mirror is just too covered in dust to even see who we really are. So, what's causing all this discord?
So, what does the source say is the actual root cause of all this chaos? Well, it argues the problem isn't something new. It's the result of a huge shift in our collective mindset that started thousands of years ago. And here's where the source draws a really stark line in the sand. It claims we've basically embraced this me-first, ego-driven worldview that's all about competition. And this, it says, is the complete opposite of the cooperative, community-focused wisdom of so many indigenous cultures. Cultures that held on to this deep, profound connection with what they call Mother Earth. This quote really gets to the heart of that forgotten connection. The source is basically shouting from the rooftops that we aren't separate from nature, and we're definitely not superior to it. We are 100% dependent on it. And forgetting that simple truth, the text suggests, is the real root of all our destructive behavior. Okay, so after pages and pages of diagnosing the problem, the source does a complete 180. The solution it proposes, it isn't political, it's not economic. Instead, it argues that the biggest, most powerful transformation happens when we shift our focus from the world out there to the entire universe that exists inside of us. Now, this is where the source introduces a really wild concept it calls multidimensional DNA. Get this. It puts forward the theory that the 95% of our DNA that scientists have often called junk, well, it isn't junk at all. The source describes it as our spiritual blueprint, the part of us that's literally hardwired to connect with the very essence of the universe. And this idea ties right into another huge concept, the quantum field. The text doesn't see this as just some dry physics principle. No, it's described as this vast, interconnected field of pure consciousness. It suggests that our awareness, our very being, is being broadcast from this field, and that if we learn to tune into it, we can actually go beyond our physical limits.
But this isn't all just theory, which is the cool part. The source material is absolutely packed with practical techniques, a whole toolkit really, for anyone who actually wants to go on this inner exploration.
So here's just one example of a very specific technique it offers. It's this meditation that mixes breath work with, well, tensing your muscles. Let's just walk through it real quick. You start by breathing in slowly while you tighten the muscles in your lower gut, then your upper gut. The whole idea is to feel that breath and that energy moving up your spine. Then, right at the top, you hold it and you focus your intention on that quantum field we were just talking about. Finally, you just exhale and release all that energy. It's described as a way to literally physically rewire your body for a higher state of consciousness. The text also leans really heavily on the ancient system of the 7 chakras. It basically presents them as a roadmap to our own inner energy system. So by focusing on each one during meditation, from the root at the bottom of your spine all the way to the crown on top of your head, you can work on balancing all these different parts of yourself, everything from raw physical energy to deep spiritual knowledge. I love this metaphor the source uses. The idea is that there's this constant broadcast of pure love and wisdom playing from inside you. Station K God, right? But we're usually so distracted by all the noise from the outside world that we totally forget how to tune in.
These practices, it suggests, are all about helping you find that inner frequency again and just listen.
So what happens if humanity as a whole actually makes this inward shift? Well, the final part of the source material paints this incredibly hopeful and transformative picture of what our future could be.
The source frames our time right now as this huge pivotal moment. It describes the time before 2012 as this era of darkness and conflict. But right now, it says, we're in the new dawning, a time when millions of people are starting to wake up. And this, it says, could lead to a golden age, a future where we all live in harmony, disease is a memory, and human potential is just completely unleashed.
So really, the crucial point is this. The solution to all that chaos we talked about at the beginning? It's not out there. According to the source, it is an internal revolution. It's all about a fundamental shift in consciousness for every single one of us, moving from that ego-driven me mentality to a connected, harmonious we consciousness. And the explainer ends right where the source itself concludes. It's not with some final, neat answer, but with a direct challenge to you. It says that every single person holds a unique piece of this great cosmic puzzle. So the final lingering question it leaves us with is, what are you going to do with yours?